try to be very Swiss with a time management this time. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4 groups of startups. 7 minutes at the end of these 3 groups for question, and they have 4 minutes to present. You'll ask questions at the end. And these are startups, by the way, that have been through a month of incubation in our incubator, the Mind the Bridge incubator at Pier 38. So we'll see the results. So let's get started. And we're going to start with Supercompare, Barbara Labate.
So good evening, everybody. Tonight we're going to talk about Supercompare. We compare grocery store prices. And on one side, we help consumers save time and money. On the other side, we help retailers and brands check competitors' prices, but also check shoppers' behavior. How did we come up with the idea? Well, years ago, I got a Fulbright scholarship, and I went to Columbia University. But still, I was a student, and I had no money. My mother was asking, "Are you eating enough?" Of course not, but I didn't tell her. So think how difficult it was for me to actually compare prices in different stores, even in my neighborhood, and find the right coupons and deals that actually suits my needs. On the other side, think how expensive it is for retailers and brands to actually target the right audience, to actually target them with the right coupons and turn customers into loyal ones. So 2 problems, 1 solution, Supercompare. We provide value, we create value for consumers, retailers and brands. How? Well, let's see, the consumer, Julia, she goes online, she builds a shopping basket, and we tell her which is the cheapest supermarket, grocery store in her neighborhood. On top of that, we put tailored coupons according to the items in her basket. So how do we benefit retailers and brands? Well, Julia is actually going to go to the store, and that's foot traffic. Julia is actually going to redeem the coupons, and this is redeeming for the brands. And we are gathering all this information in our database. That is not only prices, but also what Julia put in her basket. So if you're Julia, you go online, you enter your zip code, you fill your shopping basket, and we will tell you which is the cheapest supermarket according to your needs in your neighborhood. And on top of that, as I was saying, coupons tailored on that basket. You can save up to $1,000 a year. And think, 20,000 people are already using this in Italy right now. On the other side, retailers and brands, real-time comparison of their competitors' prices, but also of what actually Julia put in her basket. We know everything about Julia. Why? Because we know if she's single, if she has pets, if she has kids. We know what's in the basket. And we know that before she goes buy things in the stores. So how do we do that? Well, we actually aggregate and compare data, online and offline data. We turn into digital data, prices, promos, coupons. We provide this for free to Julia, to consumers, so that they can save money and actually get the coupons and save money. So who pays? Well, retailers and brands, because they can finally target the right audience when they're making up their mind before they go shopping. They can actually see their coupons redeemed and foot traffic to their stores. So we create value for all of them. So there's a big market opportunity out there. Think, like U.S. households spend 20% of their yearly income on grocery products. 87% of the consumers search online before they go buy offline. And guess what? On the other side, retailers and brands, they spend $60 billion just to drive foot traffic to the stores. They issued 332 billion coupons just last year. So the biggest market opportunity we have already addressed in Italy, where in the last 3 months we got traction, 20,000 users. We monitor 70% of the grocery retailers. We have 1 million products in our database and already got investors. Well, we're now looking for the right investor, the right partner to actually approach the US market. Why? Because there is a high internet penetration, higher than Italy. Because coupons are widely adopted, more than in Italy. And because in this market, there is still this mix of data, online and offline data availability. Something we can aggregate, and we know how to do that. Italy was our beta test. So just a few words on the team. Myself, entrepreneur, I've been an entrepreneur for the last 6 years. My first company was profitable after year 1. My co-founder has a 10 years experience in internet and online advertisement market. So please feel free to talk to me later for any question. Thank you very much.
Okay, now the next startup will be Porcovino and presented by Giovanni Segni.
Hello, everyone. I'm Giovanni Segni. I'm founder and CEO of Porcovino.com. What is Porcovino.com? Well, our mission is to bring the best wine and food from Italy's 10,000 villages right to your doorstep. Our first doorstep will be the Japanese market, second will be the US market, and then the Northern European market. What sets us apart from the competition is that we're the first to focus on the lifestyle brand value of Italian wine and gourmet. Porcovino is structured like a virtual village. A village which is not a simple list of products, because we've all seen that, that's boring. It's a village made up of storytellers and shopkeepers, where the products and the terroirs are vehicles for a narrative, for a passion that connects the producer to the user. What is Porcovino about? Porcovino is about a unique selection. We personally select all the products, a guarantee of quality at competitive prices that are targeted to their specific market, passion-filled stories. We are selling a dream, an experience, and an emotional connection. If you look at our wine store, this is the bottega, the wine bottega. It's the anti-supermarket. Each product is content for a narrative and a story. A visit to Porcovino is like taking a trip to Tuscany, or Sardinia in this case, because I'm from Sardinia, and finding that hidden gem of a tiny producer that makes that wine that you fall in love with. The only way you could experience that before is taking a few bottles back home and thinking about it. Right now, you could actually relive that experience again and again, have an experience that creates discovery of new products, and you will keep coming back to the site because we are the only ones where you can find those products. So in combination with our unique approach to Italian wine and gourmet, we have an exclusive portfolio. About 80% of our products are products that are not yet imported into the target market. We directly import it with a local logistics base, and we tell the stories of these products. So we create a highly compelling and exclusive assortment for the Japanese and the US customers. So what is the market like? Global Italian wine and food market is about 8 billion US, with about 1.2 billion online. Japan and the US represent about 60% of this market. If we look at the online market, it's about 70%. You go to Japan first because it's got the highest internet penetration, it's got the highest growth of Italian wine and food e-commerce, and it's got the lowest barriers to entry. What sets our business and revenue model apart? Well, we got a gross margin advantage. We directly import the products. We have local logistics, so we can actually have very high markups at competitive prices. We have consignment from most of our producers, which eases cash flow dramatically. We have B2B as a secondary revenue source. We have a conversion rate advantage. We can actually have a higher online average basket. We have a higher frequency and repeat purchases. We have already partnerships in places with opinion makers offline and online, so we get qualified traffic. And we have competition that follows a very simple data maze model. So you've got a product, a little bit of text, the price. You look around, you don't find a lot more than that. Executive team. To make a long story short, well, I've been working in Asia for about 10 years in the wine business, in the ICT business, in e-commerce. We've got about 35 years cumulative experience in the executive team in e-commerce, in logistics, in the wine import and distribution business, UK, US, and Japan. We got founding members and executives of Yux, Tiscali, and Neiman Marcus. Financials, that's fairly easy. We're projecting about $3.7 the first year. We'll break even the third year with EBITDA of 4.1 mil. And by the fifth year, with a global market in place, we'll hit 74 mil. We're looking for about 2.8 investment. We've raised 385K from friends and family and angels. What have we got in place now? We've got a functioning site and content. We've got the portfolio that's being completed. We've got the logistics space and warehouse in place. We have strategic partners already on board, and we have 2 Japanese angel investors already that have decided to invest in our company. This is where I end, and this is where Porcovino begins with our flying pig. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Giovanni. Now Daniele Galiffa will present his startups, Visual Sport. And in the meanwhile, I will ask all the other startups to come in the front row. Thank you.
Hello, thank you for me today. I'm Daniele. I'm really glad to be here and share our vision of visualsport.com with you. That's our social self-tracking sport platform we would like to use to track, analyze, and share all sports data generated by end users. So I started talking about the team. We are a small team located in Italy and South Italy for R&D. I'm the CEO, and all of us has already got some previous startup experience. We already got some 10 years in software and web development stuff, and we also got some help from our advisors coming out from big corporations like Fox Mobile, Nokia, and Intel. So we are also looking to increase our partnership in Europe. We already partnership with some big European global sport technologies like Opta and other European emerging and growing companies about soccer communities. So what are we helping? We are helping amateur and non-professional people, like coaches, amateur players, and amateur small teams. How do we help them? Simply, we are trying to provide them some professional, easy-to-use tools to get information directly from the soccer field, and use this data to create value. Which type of value? Could be seen on the coach side as a simple system to have reporting about team performances. On the player side, you can use this data to get engagement with your friends or get more information about your performances and get motivated in playing better. And on the small team side, we are creating new opportunities to make these small teams connected very well among sponsors and supporters. On the other hand, what we are looking to do is change the way people actually expertise with amateur sports. And we are starting with the biggest social sport, that is soccer, of course. But we are not limited to soccer. We are starting with this because we had already international experience working with global companies about sports statistics into the soccer area. And maybe because we can say that there is a big market outside, a lot of people playing soccer already. According to FIFA, there are something like 270 million players, and they are increasing year by year. And our service is targeting a market where a lot of internet penetration is high. So we estimate something like 100 million potential users with a user base of customers like 4 million paying. And some interesting stuff from the marketing research we run is that 23% of target user seems to will spend something like $40 a month. Competitors, of course, are out there, and even in the States, StatsPack is the biggest one, and other competitors are just focusing on minor features. What they are missing, and this is what we are trying to achieve, is that the social power of practicing sports, and they are just targeting specific semi-professional coaches. So they are missing the fun part. Our added value is that we can provide easy-to-use tools to grab information directly from the soccer pitch or the stadium. We can provide custom live webcast solution. We can provide custom visualization analytics to this type of users. And of course, we are aimed to create a new marketplace where people can sell their time to track sports data directly from the smartphone and can create a new value and exchange amongst teams and new sort of match trackers. Of course, we are creating an open platform to make other companies create value upon the sports data using our Visual Sport APIs. We are looking just for feedbacks here, not for funding. We are just looking for improving our business model. We are looking for suggestion tips for marketing. So of course, we would like to get money, but I think it's not the time to get them. So we would like to get more and more feedback from all of you. So feel free to ask me questions and give me feedbacks. Thank you.
Well, let's give these guys a round of applause. Now, I'm gonna ask them to sit down there, if you don't mind, just to be on the spot. And now it's time to work. So you guys have 7 minutes to ask questions. I think there are mics. Are there microphone activated? So you should probably share.
Barbara, question for you. I like a lot what you're doing. I'm curious how you get the data and how you maintain, the most accurate data of what's available in the store.
Yeah, I guess this is the first question that everybody is asking. There are like 3 ways to get the data, and we do it both the 3 ways. So one is scraping, okay, website, online website. Easy, anybody can do that. Easy, not that easy because then you have to match products that are different in weight, in description, and since we compare, we have to do all this work of matching the products. Then there are the retailers. Guess what? The cheapest one are interested in giving you direct feed because they want to show that they're the cheapest. And third, there's the secret sauce. That is a labor-intensive activity that we do actually turning into digital data all information that is available, public information available. So we're not asking anybody about the data. We're not asking feeds. We are now able, after like a year of study, we're able to to update 100 products on our system in 12 minutes. And the bigger is the database, the easier it gets. Because I already have the pictures, I already have all the weights. The only thing we're updating are the prices. And guess, every store has different prices or slightly different prices for the same products. So the job we're doing, it's very intense. We have find a way to do it with very scarce resources. Right now we're covering 20 offline retailers in Italy. And do you know how many people I use to do that? I like 2 people. They're like part-time students in Sicily. And I'm very happy and proud to give work to my fellows.
So I'll ask us of all 3, why do you care about what you do? Particularly Daniel, start with you. Why do you care?
Yeah, because
And what?
Thank you for the question.
And what happens if you don't ever get any money?
Yep. Actually, I do like playing football. I was falling in love with statistics. I was really happy when I worked with UEFA and FIFA stuff. So, I feel football from when I was 2 years old. So, my life will be around data about sports. I don't know if with visual sport or whatever, but I'll keep going, and it's hard to see me crying if everything is not now. Maybe in next 10 years. I don't know.
Same question. As I was telling, the story before. Yeah, it's exactly what I said. I was really a student, and as you know, we have little money. And the story that my mother was asking is true. She's still asking. Now she asks, "Are you sleeping enough?" But that's a different story. The answer is no. Again. Yeah, and
whatever your mother asks you.
Exactly. Super sleep next time. No, but what happened is that when I was at Columbia, my last class, I had to prepare a business plan competition, and I did this. But at that time, it was more difficult. I was trying to solve the problem another way. And since that time, I've been keeping this project in my mind. And when I thought we could solve the problem, or at least solve the problem, I started the company.
Well, why do I care? Basically because, I love the products. I've had, you can see that. I've had the luck and the twist of fate of meeting my co-founders and partners, because there's other business that can probably give you better margin, more profits, but there would be no passion in it. So, and I also think about what Italy has to export, which is not much, except for the wine, the food and lifestyle, and corrupt politicians. But that second part we probably don't want to talk about today. And also from a consumer point of view, I've seen that no one is quite doing exactly the same thing. People are doing bits and pieces of it. They haven't quite combined all the components together. So there was a market gap. And if I put myself in the shoes of the consumer, I would really want to see that. I mean, it's the difference that runs between a supermarket and the wine shop. Like I was saying, in the supermarket, you get the product, the price, 2 lines of text. That's what everyone else is doing. The wine shop that you've got the shopkeeper, and that's the key. And to have a shopkeeper online, you need to know the products, you need to know the market you're addressing, you need to create unique content, you need to keep that updated, and it takes time. That's why I say it's a very time-consuming business. It's hard, but the market is there, it's growing, it's a niche market. I mean, it's not something that will grow to like 5 billion in 10 years, but it's a consistent market with a decent growth, so it's bad.
Question about that, where, so I'm a wine buff, and so I like to buy some wines, always with friends, but actually buying some Italian wines, and I find that there is really good quality Italian wines available from the retailers or the e-tailers. Yep. And so the question I had was, how did you figure out that there was actually a demand for this type of product in the US? I don't know about Japan. Maybe in Japan there is more clear. Similar. But my feeling is that the needs of the people want to buy really good Italian wines at good prices are made by the local market.
Well, you've got to look at a few different numbers. Some numbers are public. You look at the customs numbers. So how much Italian wine is imported. You look at the retail numbers from major retailers and importers. Those numbers are not quite so public, but one of our partners has been doing wine import and distribution in the US and Japan for 20 years, so we have access to that. And you cross-check those with how much of Italian wine production is from medium, small-size producers, how many of those are imported, and what demand there is for new products. And if you look at mature markets like US, Japan, and Northern Europe, and there is an ever-growing demand for new products that are not yet imported. If you look at the structure of the industry in Italy, about 85 to 90% of Italian wine and gourmet producers are small, medium-sized producers that do not have the size, do not have the finances, and in many cases do not have the mindset to approach foreign markets. So you need to have a knowledge of the industry, you need to have a knowledge of the market.
One last question. Quick one on competition. All of you have, your businesses all have easy barriers to entry. How are you going to compete in a world where you've got big competitors, all three of them? The startup world and in the big company.
Inspiring passion to end users, because our competitors are focusing just on technology or solving not social activities. So we are just to inspire passion to end users and keep them committed to this passion.
Not going into details about the competition, what I can say for us is execution. We started only a few months ago with monitoring 1 city and 5 retailers. Now we cover 108 cities in Italy, and we have 20 offline and 17 online retailers. So, and 4 times more than other websites that do similar stuff in Italy.
Well, my answer is similar to the first one. You inspire passion and you create a loyal customer base by telling stories and creating emotional connection. You do that through a unique portfolio, and you need a strong presence in Italy to do that. You do that through competitive prices, so you need to know the market and the markup structure, and you need to focus only on Italian products. The competition is focusing on all kinds of wines, because focusing only on Italian products, unless you have that kind of a team and that kind of commitment, it's frankly a bit of a pain in the ass. So the competition, like I said, is basically focusing on as many products as possible, as little information as possible and a very varied basket. So I would say create passion and create a loyal customer base. I'd like to add that, I mean, we were quite taken aback by the fact that we've got a very positive reception among the wine and fashion media in Japan, and within 2 weeks we've actually signed the NDA. We've got into the due diligence with one of the major VC funds in Japan. So I wasn't quite sure how it was going to do in Japan, but it seems quite all right.
Thank you very much.